Huffington Post is reporting on a fascinating story about weed and how it affects various users. I, unfortunately, am one of the people who weed is just not my drug. It just doesn't mesh with me. Of all the times I've smoked in my life, over half of them I've been paranoid. I'm not kidding when I literally say I've curled up in the fetal position and waited for it to be over because you're scared of what's happening and the demons and this and that. I get paranoid and it gets weird when I smoke weed.
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid.
I have a great relationship with the blacks. I've always had a great relationship with the blacks.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Somebody's doing the raping, Don. I mean, somebody's doing the. Just saying it's women being raped. Well, who's doing the raping?
Three legs of the triad, though. Do you have a priority? Because I want to go to Senator Rubio after that.
I think to me, nuclear is just the power, the devastation is very important to me.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I don't feel good about turning down money because my whole life I've been greedy. I've grabbed all the money I could get. I'm so greedy. But now I want to be greedy for the United States. I want to grab all that money.
It's not been easy for me. It has not been easy for me. And, you know, I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I came into Manhattan.
I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. I tell you that.
Folks, torture, you know, I have these guys. Torture doesn't work. Believe me, it works, okay?
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. When Mexico sends its people, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists. I will build a great wall, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
Will you unequivocally condemn David Duke and say that you don't want his vote or that of other white supremacists in this election?
I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy.
Would you just say, unequivocally, you condemn them and you don't want their support?
Well, I have to look at the group.
The terrorists, you have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
The wealthiest 1% of the population in this country owns more wealth than the bottom 90%.
Frederick Douglass said it right: freedom is never given to you. It has to be fought for.
It is incumbent upon us to do everything in our power, now that the war has started, to prevent unnecessary bloodshed and to support our troops in the most basic way, by bringing them home alive and well. The American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices. And this is what the choice is about. We are spending $270 billion a year on the military, but we don't have a major enemy.
Ears may have been playing a trick on me, but I thought I heard the gentleman a moment ago say something, quote unquote, about homos in the military. You have insulted thousands. In America today, we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, including China, an authoritarian communist country with a population 4 times our size. How does that happen?
You're telling corporate America they cannot have it all.
We are the greatest country in the history of the world, but there is something wrong when, if current economic trends continue, the young people in our country will have a lower standard of living than their parents. We are moving in many respects in exactly the wrong direction. president can do what has to be done unless millions of Americans come together and say loudly and clearly, enough is